Washington, here is the news in VOA Special English. Thousands of protesters in Cairo's Tahrir Square demonstrated Tuesday against Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi. Riot police fired tear gas to push back protesters who were throwing rocks. The demonstrators took to the streets hours after the president told the nation's top judges that parts of his new order must stand. The new order gives President Morsi more official powers. VOA Cairo correspondent Elizabeth Arrott says the number of protesters is expected to grow. Muslim Brotherhood supporters of Mr. Morsi have called off a demonstration of their own. The political chief of the Congolese rebel group M23 says his forces will leave the captured city of Goma by Friday, even if the government does not meet the group's demands. Jean-Marie Runiga spoke to reporters Tuesday in Goma. The rebels seized the eastern city last week and have since taken another town to the west. Mr. Runiga said even if M23 withdraws, it does not mean the group will back down on its demands for foreign groups and the Congolese army to leave the area. Rwandan military officials say Hutu extremists based in eastern Congo crossed into Rwanda Tuesday and attacked villages near the border. A military spokesman blamed a rebel group, the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, or FDLR, for the attack. After crossing the border, the rebels clashed with Rwandan military forces. The Reuters news agency reported that the FDLR denied involvement in any fighting. The group is opposed to Rwanda's Tutsi-led government. Rwanda said there were at least 100 attackers. They were forced back into Congo or into other parts of Rwanda during the fighting. The Rwandan government says 6 rebels were killed, 2 were captured, and 1 civilian died. The attack took place 1 week after the Congolese rebel group M23 seized the Congolese city of Goma near the border with Rwanda. Social organizations in Uganda have launched a campaign to get money for health care and other services. Reporter Andrew Green in Uganda's capital says the groups are demanding immediate action from the government. Karen Leggett has his report.
In September, the Ugandan parliament approved a budget that includes more than $2 million in spending to improve health care. The money was targeted for new health care workers and better pay for doctors. Now the Ministry of Finance says it does not have the money because several countries suspended aid to Uganda. Britain, Ireland, Sweden, Norway, and Denmark have all suspended aid to Uganda because of concerns about corruption. Dora Musunguzi is the head of the Uganda Network on Law, Ethics, and HIV/AIDS. She says the aid suspensions will have a direct effect on health care services.
We know that the donor freeze is going to affect so much of the service delivery, and not only general service delivery, vital areas of care like health, like justice. We continue to see a very desperate and miserable picture of what it is like right now. We have tested it, and I'm imagining if it gets worse.
Recently, her organization and others have launched a campaign called Black Monday. They are demanding that government officials answer reports of corruption and find any of the aid money that was stolen. The groups plan weekly protests and monthly office closings. Leonard Okello helped to organize the campaign. He worries that any thieves who took money will not be forced to pay it back.
Impunity has become the style of dealing with thieves in Uganda. They loot government money, use the same money to manipulate the investigation system so that the investigations from the police take very weak cases to court and the courts cannot get them guilty.
Mr. Okello says Monday will remain a day of mourning until the stolen money is found and foreign aid starts flowing back to Uganda. I'm Karen Leggett.
You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Activists in Syria say military warplanes have bombed an olive oil factory in the northern part of the country. The activists say at least 20 people were killed and many more were wounded in the attack near the city of Idlib. Video released Tuesday also shows the outcome of a government airstrike on an unfinished refugee camp in Bab al-Hawa near the Syrian-Turkish border. There were no immediate reports of injuries. A United Nations committee has approved resolutions condemning human rights abuses by North Korea, Iran, and Syria. The UN said it condemns the systematic, widespread, and grave violations of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights in North Korea. The measure was approved by consensus, which is an unofficial vote. Even China, North Korea's closest ally, did not vote against the resolution. But the Chinese representative said China opposes any resolution that centers on one country. A smaller majority passed a resolution condemning Iran's human rights record. That document highlighted the use of torture and prison camps, as well as severe limits on freedom of movement. The measure against Syria condemned human rights violations by President Bashar al-Assad's forces. Syrian, Iranian, and North Korean representatives at the meeting rejected the resolutions. Mexico's president-elect, Enrique Peña Nieto, met with President Obama Tuesday at the White House. Mr. Peña Nieto said he wants relations between the United States and Mexico to center more on trade and less on the war on drugs. The meeting took place 4 days before the Mexican president-elect takes office. President Obama said a meeting with Mexico's president-elect is a long-standing tradition, and he said the visit also shows Mexico's growing importance in the world community. The United States is Mexico's largest trading partner. Trade between the two neighbors has increased greatly in the last 20 years since the North American Free Trade Agreement took effect.